Alright, well hello and welcome to another adventure. We are on our second leg of this Discovering America trip, and we are at Appomattox Courthouse, which is where the Civil War ended. It's where General Lee surrendered to General Grant. So we're going to walk around here, go down to the McLean House, which is where they actually surrendered, and walk around Appomattox Courthouse for a little bit. And I'll tell you a little bit about what went on here, if you're not familiar with how the war ended. Alright, so right down here, this is the McLean House, and that is where General Lee finally surrendered. We'll head down that way, and we'll walk around here, see what else is down here. Right here is the McLean House. So on April 9th, 1865, General Lee rode into this yard and disappeared into the house, and then General Grant soon followed. And then dozens of officer horses and onlookers waited outside. So they were in there negotiating, and then this whole area was just packed with people. And then 90 minutes later, Grant and Lee emerged, and then the Union officers saluted, and then Lee rode back to his army as a defeated general, having officially surrendered to the Union. Alright, this is the room where they actually surrendered. General Lee, General Grant was sitting down there, so they actually surrendered there. This is where they wrote up the terms. Right inside this very room, this is where the American Civil War ended. So these were the children's bedrooms of the McLeans who lived here. So Lee and Grant just came here to surrender. They didn't actually live here. But these were the children's bedrooms. You have one here, and then you have one over here, showing off a late mid 1800s bedroom. Alright, so before they surrendered, General Grant was writing up the terms. So you see him, he's sitting down there with his soldiers, writing up the terms of surrender. And it's General Lee, and he's reading it here. So there were only two terms. One, that they had to agree not to take up arms against the U.S. again. And the second term was that they had to surrender all of their weapons. And if they did that, then they would be paroled and not face prosecution. So this is where Lincoln was ahead of his time, because he didn't want the Confederates to be prosecuted or punished. He just said, no, let them go, let them peacefully, let them surrender. And he didn't want the South humiliated, so he really pushed for unification and welcoming everyone back in. So for that reason, none of the Confederates faced any kind of charges of treason because of that, because that's what Abraham Lincoln wanted, and that's probably why he set himself apart from a lot of presidents that way, is that he wanted a unified country. He didn't want they just fought along 4 years in the Civil War, and he didn't want more trials and more angst. He just wanted everyone to go home peacefully and pretty much get on with their lives and work and rebuild the country. So that's what this team depicts. This is the white surrender flag when they first rolled up. And then this table here, this is an actual table. This is where they signed the final agreement for the surrender of the Army of Northern Virginia, which is what the Confederate Army was called, the Army of North Virginia. This is a table where they actually signed the agreement. So that's pretty cool that over 100, almost 200 years later, 150 years since the war, that they still have this here. So we're gonna go. We're gonna explore some more of the park here. Yep, and then a week later, all that goodwill was knocked out when Lincoln was assassinated, and that caused a lot of animosity to the South from the North. So that reared up, and then and that fueled a hard, like period of Reconstruction, which was a very, very rough period in the U.S. So this is the Meeks General Store. This was here at the time of the surrender. You can see all the stuff done. This was the town. So this Appomattox Courthouse was a town. So this is all original period from what this looked like when the surrender took place. Old Colbert fireplace. There's a little bit of history of that. You can kind of pause that and read that if you want. Oh, so this is cool. So these are all the people, all the officers that were present at the surrender. So they've all been, these are Union soldiers, Confederate soldiers. They were all present here, either General Grant or General Lee. Again, the object was to unify everyone and saying that they were all Americans. They were all part of the Union. So here's an old chest that was abandoned. They said probably by the Confederate Army, but they say it might have taken, they might have captured it from Union earlier. But yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, so there's the visitor center there. Walked around there. So this would have been the old county jailhouse. So we're gonna go in here, and yeah, you can see the bars. You can see the bars in the windows. This would have been the Appomattox County jailhouse. Oh, you can definitely see this is would be used as a jail. The beds, the barred windows in here. That's cool little chain of four there. That would have been their pan to do the business. They would do the business there. We'll go over this one here. This is probably the original. This is probably the original brick here. I would say. That's cool. All right, well that's cool. I pushed for the story. Unfortunately there's no story, but still pretty cool to see the old jail. Yeah, there's not a whole lot here. The McLean house is definitely the must-do. The others are just period pieces. So we'll go back over to McLean house, check it out one more time, and there's a couple other things over that I want to see. But other than that, this video will be on the shorter side, but no less important, because obviously this is one of the most significant events of our country, the end of the Civil War. So we'll head down this way then. All right, so very little of this village is original because it's all torn down. But here we have a very good example of, so before restoration, these are the law office. Look at that, that's a courthouse. The courthouse burned down in 1892. That's what it looked like before it burnt down, and that was after Cloverhair Tavern, Guest House. That's restoration in 1954. And then the McLean house site. So the house, the actual McLean house, was actually disassembled, and they were going to move it to DC, but that never happened. So they excavated the grounds, and it's reconstructed on the. It's in the original location with the original thing, but it's not original. So that's pretty neat looking at this. And this is today. So this is present day, the law office. So that's the courthouse restored. That's where the visitor center is. The Meeks General Store, I showed you that. The Pierce home. Clover Hill Tavern. So there was a tavern here. They rebuilt that. It's Tavern Hill Guest House today. The McLean Kitchen. Reconstruction 1964. And that's how it looks today. That's the Serena house today. I saw the inside of that. So yeah, that's pretty cool how they show you how it was and how it is now. So it used to be the slave quarters, but they turned it into a little exhibition on slavery. And then this is the kitchen. Obviously in those days the kitchen was separate from the house because you have open flames. So if the kitchen caught fire, it would not burn down the regular house. So this is pretty standard for the day. Here's a little look at what the slave quarters look like. You see the beds down there. See, very tight. Sometimes you would have multiple families living here, and there's also an upstairs too. You can put people upstairs. So obviously no privacy, no space. No, you would all eat at this little table, do for fireplace, but not very comfortable. The bare minimum of essentials for sure. All right, and this was the old ice house. You can see how the ladder, and you keep your cool stuff down here, your meats and anything that's spoiled, you keep them below ground here because it's cooler in here. You get the ladder to get down. So that's pretty neat. You have the structure here right next to the McLean house. You have the structure right here. So most of this is what it looks like when, so there's a law office, that would be the general store there. You have the tavern back that way. And there's the surrender house. All right, so who knew this one event would put this small sleepy little town on the map forever? So, so yeah. So if you're a fan of Civil War history or American history, this is obviously a very important site because it's where they surrendered, ended the Civil War and the 4 years of fighting, and basically let everyone go towards unification. Of course, that ended a week later when Prince of Lincoln was assassinated. Shorter video. Thanks for coming along with us. Happy 4th of July, and we will see you in the next adventure.